Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, however you found me. I'm just glad you're here today. Welcome to our week 33 Too Hot to Cook Summer Food Ideas from our book, Queen of the Castle, 52 Weeks of Encouragement for the Uninspired, Domestically Challenged, or Just Plain Tired Homemaker by Lynn Bowen Walker. This chapter was really great. About a month ago, I live in an area that generally has mild summers. Like we might have a couple days where it gets up around 100 or maybe a little bit above that, but that is not very often. We're a pretty mild climate, and I love it. I grew up in this state and have kind of lived in this area for all my life, except for when I was in the military, and I really, really love it. There were a couple days we got up to 115, and that was insane. And I think it broke records in our state, in our city, etc. It was pretty crazy. And of course, when it gets hot like that, we don't want to cook. We don't want to be in the kitchen. We don't want to be cooking over the stove. And honestly, when I was growing up, air conditioners weren't as big a thing as they are today. And I was blessed, we were blessed a couple years ago where we had installed in our previous home air conditioning, so we were fine. And even here in the new house, we have air conditioning, and so it doesn't bother me to cook in the heat. But if you've been outside all day and you're coming in and you're warm, you don't feel like cooking. And with all the moving we've been doing, all the sweating I've been doing and packing and unpacking, I have not wanted to cook. And so those simple ideas are so very, very important. Of course, one of the easiest things you can do is outdoor cooking. She talks about that in here, some of the different ways you can do outdoor cooking. We have an awesome gas grill out on our deck, and one of our decks. And we have used that for a few different things, and it just very easy. It's nice because it's outside, so the heat is not being trapped inside, so that's nice. But even that can get really hot, and of course, meat attracts bees. That's always fun. Wasps, I think, or whatever they are. It attracts something that likes to sting and bite you or whatever. Another thing she recommends is Dutch oven cooking, which is really cool. We are a scouting family. Both of our girls were Girl Scouts, and our son was a Boy Scout. We have one that became an Eagle Scout, one that became a Gold Award Scout. So it's really kind of exciting. Just all of the different experiences that they had, and we learned in the process. So we learned some fun outdoor cooking. But again, there might be a fire ban, or you might not even be able to do briquettes. You might not be able to do gas fire. There's all those types of things. So, and honestly, when it's hot out, I don't feel like eating something hot. So there's lots of different options out there. Last week I mentioned Bear Wallow Books, and they have a plethora of different ones, but one of the books that they have that I have is salads. That is a nice, refreshing option. Everything is cool, easy on the stomach. That's the other thing. When it's hot out, I don't want to eat anything heavy. I want to eat something light. So salads are really great. She talks about and I'm going to say this wrong, Shiva. It says she pronounces it Shiva. The Shiva dinner that she had in Norway, which was basically a baguette of bread, and you would put butter, and then I guess you would peel crab meat or shell crab or shrimp, and then you would put that on, and then you'd put mayonnaise did you say lemon or lime or something like that, and it was just very refreshing. And of course, all of this is cooled down. It's not hot. And then it reminded me of the charcuterie board, and I think that's how you pronounce it. And I'm going to show you a picture of one right here. Okay, so my daughters are fantastic at this amazing type of layout, and I love it. It is refreshing, and it's easy, and it's like something that we think of as like an appetizer, but it can be so appealing and so fulfilling. Now I'm going to show you a picture of what my husband makes for a charcuterie board. You know what? that might be simple, but it works as well. So another thing you might think about, because you may not feel like doing dishes, like nowadays we're pretty spoiled. Most of us have dishwashers, but even those can produce heat. So turn off the heating element and just do a wash and then have them air dry, and that will help eliminate that. So that's one way. Another way she recommends is, paper plates. And it's an easy way to clean up, but it is also something you have to haul out and get rid of as well. So there's all those different ways that you can do it. Another item she mentions in here is crock pot cooking, and I am an avid supporter of crock pot cooking. Whether you're constantly running around or whatever, crock pots are amazing. If you think about it the night before defrosting, I do a meal plan, and that is something that we'll go into later, I believe, in it's in week 38, I think. 38 we'll be doing meal planning, where I do a meal plan so I have an idea of what we're going to eat, and then I'll be like, oh goodness, I need to pull out chicken breast for whatever, so I will defrost it the night before, and then that way first thing the next morning I can stick the chicken in the crock pot and whatever else I'm going to put in there, and then I just have it cook all day. So that's one of the things I love about the crock pot. Now today we have the Instapot. That's a more common thing that you're seeing now in wedding registries, or the desires of the hearts of the young ones. And I honestly didn't care to have one, but my husband got me one. And so I have learned to boil eggs in it, and I've learned to cook chicken breast in it. That's it. But hey, the eggs are perfect, and so is the chicken breast. So yesterday, and the chicken breast was frozen. I was like, oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. And so the other day before church, I went ahead and I stuck the chicken breast in the Instapot, and I had to ask him, will you please just make sure I did it right? The last thing you want is your kitchen to explode. And we went off to church, because that afternoon, our daughter and her husband and their daughter, our granddaughter, were going to come over. And so all three of our kids were going to be there, our son-in-law and our granddaughter, and my mother-in-law was going to be there. And I wanted to make sure that we had this great taco, burrito bar, whatever. And my son-in-law makes the best refried beans ever. Oh my goodness. So he brought those, and I just made simple rice because my granddaughter loves rice. And so I think it was just a white or a jasmine rice or something in my rice cooker. But it's amazing how tender that chicken is, and just shredded so easily. So it was a really nice option for your burrito if you didn't want the beef with the taco seasoning flavoring. So anyhow, there's so many different ways to do it, and I just absolutely love. She has a funny story in here about her experience and wanting to have this most elaborate meal. And I guess as I was reading it and laughing, what I have learned over the years, if I want to do an elaborate meal, you really need to do like a run through prior. It's kind of like that prepping before, because otherwise you can make yourself so much work, and just taking on one little thing at a time. So, this week trying this one recipe and adding it to, some steamed vegetables and whatever to keep it simple. At the end of the day, it can be a challenge to be creative during the times when it is warm, but just go back to think about those things when you were a child that you loved on those hot days. Sometimes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich just hits the spot. So I know that there are soups that you can have cooled that taste really good. I'm not a fan of cold soup. I really like my soup warmed up, so that's a no for me. But think about those simple things. Jell-O. How refreshing is Jell-O? I'm not sure that there's any nutritional value in it, but it's kind of one of those fun little treats as well. Anyhow, I hope this helps with a few ideas, and I hope you have been enjoying this Queen of the Castle, my take on how this has affected our lives and the benefits, and I've just truly enjoyed sharing with you. I can't believe we're already 33 weeks done of the 52, and I am super excited. We have a couple weeks coming up where our topic is going to be the job of queen, homemaking as a profession. And this is one of those things where we revisit what it means, why we do what we do, why it's important to do what we do. So I love you all. I'm so thankful for all of you who come and visit and share in this journey with me. Blessings to you, and I will see you next week.